Hey, it's Joe here with Intelliplan Financial. I hope you're having a great day. And today what we want to talk about is there are 14 specific pre-retirement steps that you should take in order to prepare yourself to have a successful retirement. I want to go through those today and get you thinking about this to help you better prepare for when that day comes. Your first step is have your portfolio reviewed. You want to ask yourself, when was the last time a financial advisor or someone has actually looked through my portfolio just to make sure that it's going to match up with the goals and plans that I have for my retirement. So that is really important. It leads to the second point, which is financial planning. When was the last time you actually had an advisor or even just looked through your plan and laid out what you're going to do through retirement years in terms of looking at long-term financial goals, understanding what your expenses are going to be? Think about the debts that you have and assets. Are you going to pay off debts? Are you going to hold on to those debts? So there's a lot of things you want to think about pre-retirement so you don't have to make quick decisions at the time. A third step is refine your retirement savings plan. How are you saving for retirement today? How far away from retirement are you? Should you be throwing more into those accounts? There are certain catch-up provisions that you have. So think about how you are saving now based on how far you are from your retirement. Step number 4, you want to think about your legacy goals. Now, legacy goals, it's not just your children, it's also when you're in a couple, it can be the surviving spouse, because a lot of things change for the surviving spouse when one passes away. So you really want to define what your legacy looks like. How are you planning to use those assets and pass on? And that gets you thinking about how you should be organizing your assets today so that they follow through into retirement and upon your passing in the proper legacy plan that you have thought about. Now, step number 5, think about your long-term care protection. It doesn't really matter how much in assets you have. If you have a serious health issue, it could wipe you out financially. So if you have protected yourself from any type of long-term care medical issue, you can completely protect those assets and make sure they pass on to your family, to your loved ones properly. Number 6 is think about also an irrevocable living trust. Now, you may or may not be familiar with that, but what it is, it's a way that you can protect your estate from higher taxes. So if you have quite a bit of assets you may not necessarily need in retirement, let's assign those to an irrevocable trust so it reduces down your estate and can be protected and can be passed on to your kids, to family members, to children, however you wish, but also in a very tax efficient manner. Step number 7, establish education goals. So what I mean by this is think about, are you going to plan to help or assist your grandchildren maybe, or your children if they're still going through college? College is a major expense. So think about, is that something you want to do for your family, and then start assigning and aligning your plans accordingly. And there are different ways you can look at. There are 529 plans. You can use life insurance for passing on that wealth to pay for college. But it's really just making sure that this is something you think about. That's what's most important. Number 8, your balance sheet. Now, a lot of people don't think about this balance sheet concept, but you have debts that you owe. So upon your passing, those debts need to be paid, and then there may be nothing left for your legacy. So organize in your mind how you're going to pay off those debts in advance, again, so that your legacy is taken care of the way that you want them to be. Okay, number 9, don't forget to check out your insurance plans. This is also important because as you get older, your health care, in most cases, your health is going to go downhill. So you want to properly prepare for that. Look at your plans. Make sure you understand your coverage. How much is being covered? Healthcare plans can be, how are we looking at Medicare? How are we looking at any long-term care insurance that we have? So again, every person's situation is different, but it's a step you don't want to forget when you're looking through and planning from a pre-retirement perspective. Okay, number 10, having a real estate review. that can mean a lot of different things. Knowing what your value of your primary home is. And when you go into retirement, is that going to be paid off? Can you afford to keep making those payments? Or are you going to need to sell that home, downsize into something that's more affordable, and then use the equity from your primary residence to pay off in full a smaller home? So there's a lot of different things you can do, but again, let's think that through based on what your goals and plans are in your retirement years. Number 11 is health savings accounts. Not everyone has one, but if your employer does offer that, it's a great place to start saving for those additional health expenses that can come up. Your Medicare plans, Part B, Medicare Advantage plans, they don't necessarily cover everything. So having that plan, that HSA or health savings account, can be additional money that can be used for healthcare, and it can be used in a tax efficient way. So make sure you're thinking about that in your total package. Number 12, medical screening and preventative healthcare plan. How many people have gone through life and really haven't seen a doctor too often? So let's start thinking about that. Let's get in, let's get our checkups, let's know where we are going into retirement from a healthcare perspective so we can plan accordingly. Okay, number 13 is estate planning. Okay, it is very important to think about your entire estate. Not everyone has multi-millions aside, but if you do, you really want to think about how your estate taxes are going to come into play. So if you're one of those people who estate tax is going to affect you, let's think about that now and let's plan for it. There are things you can do, like buying a life insurance policy. Upon your passing, that death benefit can pay off any estate tax that you owe so that all of your other remaining assets move on and pass to your family members. So just a little trick there on how to do this. Lastly, safety and documentation. This is one of the most important. Make sure you have all of your assets, all of your bills, all of your debts. Everything needs to be documented, and everything, it needs to be shared with someone you love. So maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's an adult child, for example, but someone who is going to finalize and close out your estate needs to know everything that you have and how to access all of those assets. That way everything can move smoothly. Do not be afraid to have those conversations. Bad news is we're all going to pass on at some point. So if we care about our loved ones, let's make sure that we protect them, and let's make sure that they have access to everything that we have. Let's make it simple for them. So in conclusion, make sure you review. I cannot go back through all 14 steps right now, but really take a good look at the blog that's here. If necessary, print it out and follow that checklist. In addition to that, get with a financial professional and they will help you plan properly. If you don't have one, come see us. We're here to help you. You can reach out to us. You can schedule a meeting with us at our website, and you can find us at www.intelliplanfinancial.com. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.